Our next speaker is Ashok Srivastava, PhD, Senior Vice President and Chief Data Officer at Intuit. He's responsible for setting the vision and direction for AI across Intuit to power prosperity around the world for 100 million consumer and small business customers. He's an adjunct professor at Stanford and a member of the Committee on Emerging Trends in Aviation Safety and at the National Academy of Science, Engineering, and Medicine. Ashok is a fellow at IEEE, the American Association for Advancement of Science, and the American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics. In his presentation today, Ashok will take a deep dive into Intuit's strategy for mobilizing its global tech organization to build generative AI-powered fintech products with speed at scale. You'll get a peek around how they take a generative AI and behind the generative AI operating system that's making it possible, coming away with actionable insights you can apply to your own Gen AI journey. There's a video to begin, so we'll start with a video.
I'd like to welcome you all this morning and thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak here about the great work that's happening at Intuit. First, I'd like to really thank Osama, Hamid, and everyone here at the Institute for creating this amazing opportunity for us to learn from each other. We have an unprecedented view of what's happening in experiential AI here at Northeastern, and I really feel that the vision that Osama and many other people who have built this institute is something that's important for all of us to learn from, to contribute to, and also for all of the students, not only here, but around the world to benefit from. So Osama, thank you so much for your vision for so many years, for over 2 decades. At least that I know of, in the field of AI, machine learning, data science, and so forth. So let me begin by talking a little bit about myself and what we're doing at Intuit to power prosperity around the world through the use of AI. So I started at the company about 6 years ago with the vision to really think about how to change the way small businesses and consumers work in their everyday lives in order to make their financial prosperity more likely. And this is something that changed as November 30th, 2022 occurred. So ChatGPT literally broke the internet. We heard Dan's talk with Osama a moment ago. Literally, it changed everything. But the fact is that this change is something that we saw coming for quite a long time. And the investments that we made, as you'll see, are consonant with that. It's something that we're very excited about. But we shouldn't lose sight of the fact that this is a transformative period in human history, in my opinion. Something is radically changing where machines can now appear to provide plausible, useful information to people. Notice I said plausible. information. There's a difference between something that's plausible and something that's true, as we all know. And that critical thinking is something that's very important. And again, coming back to the experiential AI, I love the fact that you have people here who are coming from other disciplines like philosophy, for instance, who are thinking about things in a fundamental way. This isn't just about technology. This is also about humans and how humans and technology evolve together in order to give humans the very best experience possible. So the question is, when you see a change like this occurring, how do you manage it? How do you ride the wave in order to deal with the disruptive change? And our answer at Intuit is to make it a habit. And I love this way of thinking about it because, as you know, change is not something that happens once in a while. It's constant. And if you have the mindset that allows for that change to come in, for things to evolve, and for yourself to ride the wave, it actually becomes a very fun adventure. Intuit's mission is to power prosperity around the world. And I can tell you, when I joined the company, when I was interviewing, I saw this painted on the walls, and I thought, wow, what a great slogan. I wonder if they really believe that. And after working there for 6 years, I can tell you that there's an incredible focus on this mission. We've got more than 18,000 employees, and as I meet them worldwide, I see that that point resonates with them. The reason that I'm sharing this with you is that having a mission that's larger than just one person or one idea, that's encompassing of a lot of people, a mission that is important, is actually very critical when you're making major business decisions, when you're making other kinds of decisions, because it helps align people to a target. And so this phrase is something that I speak about a lot within the company, outside the company. It's something that we use to actually attract people. It's something that we use to retain people. Notice I didn't say the usual levers of money and compensation and things like that. Those things are important, but the mission matters here. And when you're talking about artificial intelligence, the mission really matters, because then it's about artificial intelligence and its use to power prosperity around the world. That's the way we think about it. So we have a history of self-disruption and reimagination. So company started about 40 years ago. It's a 40-year-old startup. And it does have that startup culture still today. We started with an era of DOS, then Windows, and then the era of the web, mobile and cloud computing. Early on, we said that we were going to move from a private cloud to a public cloud, transitioned the entire company onto the public cloud. And then we're continuing on now in the era of artificial intelligence. And this really started in earnest in 2019. Started at the company about 2017. And the vision at the time was to invest in a couple of things. Number one, in data. That data layer of our platform was something that we invested in very significantly to provide real-time data, batch data, streaming data, data coming in a clean format across the company. And when you see the numbers associated with our data, you'll see this is not any small effort. The next thing we focused on is building a very powerful AI platform. And again, this is something that started back in 2017. All of these investments brought us to where we are today. So this is the era of artificial intelligence. We're now about 18,000 people, 100 million customers, a revenue of about $14 billion. And we're growing at an unprecedented rate. And what's so exciting about this is that data, artificial intelligence, and analytics are playing a critical role in the transformation of the company. What I'd like to share with you here is that that transformation is happening organically as a platform strategy. So when I say platform strategy, what we're saying is that we're building reusable components and services within the company that allow people, developers from across the organization, not just my organization, which is the AI data and analytics organization, but from across the company to actually innovate with speed and scale. So these days, literally right now, we're having our so-called global engineering days. This is a time where all of our engineers don't have any meetings, They don't have any requirements. They can code at will on projects that are of interest to them. And literally thousands of them right now are experimenting and using and developing capabilities with generative AI, with data, with analytics, with new product inventions, with many, many new ideas. And we're enabling that through a platform strategy. And so what I'd urge those of you who are in large companies is to think about things from a platform perspective, because they do allow for speed and scale at an unprecedented rate, at least in our opinion. To give you an idea of our scale, 65 billion machine learning predictions are made per day. We have about 500,000 customer and financial attributes per small business, about 60,000 financial attributes per customer, and about 810 million AI-driven customer interactions per year. We have 900 patent assets in our portfolio. So we've been investing in this for a long time. And the way we think about this is in a segmented strategy. For small businesses, we're looking at things like accounting and time tracking, capital. We're also looking at marketing. We recently acquired MailChimp. So marketing, one-on-one marketing personalization is a critical aspect of our work. Enabling the self-employed, people who want to grow their business and get paid faster and have more money to pay their bills. Consumers who want to get loans or insurance or save more money. These are the ways that we think about things, and all of the work that we do is designed to help in one of the levers that is depicted on this screen. We culminate this as the AI-driven expert platform. And 5 years ago, when we came out with this notion, I would say that back then I could see that it was visionary. Now I really feel that way very strongly. The idea here is that we're taking artificial intelligence and allowing that expertise to come to our consumers and small businesses, but also human expertise. We employ tens of thousands of human experts who work with our customers directly, who are augmented by artificial intelligence. So it's not a replacement strategy saying that take AI and replace what humans can do. No, what we're saying is take AI and help humans do what they do best. And so this augmented strategy is one that we've been investing in for a long time, and it's part and parcel of our overall company strategy, and you can read more about it on our website. So we're literally now in the time of transformation where generative AI is playing a major role. We were investing in generative AI much before November of 2022 and experimenting with the earlier GPT models, our own models. We were deploying them in summarizing customer and expert conversations and so forth. But now we're certainly on a major change trajectory in investing in these capabilities and then delivering great customer experiences. So to give you an idea of how we think about this, there are 4 major areas that we're making concerted investments. One in customer obsession, platform mindset, mission-based teams, and development velocity. These are the 4 areas that we're really focused on. And notice these aren't really necessarily technology areas. These are oriented a lot towards people, because people still write code. And yes, even when your LLM writes code, people are still an important factor. And so understanding and leveraging the people that you have and creating a great culture is something that's incredibly important. The first area in customer obsession. So we declared what we call prosperity goals. And I'm very pleased to tell you some progress that we're making in this direction. In household savings rate, which is a key metric that we track, people who use our platform are 1.6 times, they have 1.6 times the savings rate as people that don't. Small businesses are 19 points more successful on our platform than those that aren't on our platform. We have about 60 petabytes of data, 20 billion transactions imported from financial institutions annually, and about, just for one use case, 2 million models in production today. So if you're a QuickBooks customer and you use it for transaction categorization, know that there's a model that is associated with your account, and that model is getting updated on a regular basis, and there are millions of these models in operation. We have mission-based teams across the organization, across the company that are working on artificial intelligence. But there's a single team that is really pushing the boundaries of AI, and that's one of the teams that I lead. Thousands of technologists are working on this, and we've therefore increased through this platform capability development velocity. This is something that we actually measure. There's been a 9-fold increase in development velocity over the last 3 years. This doesn't mean that we're monitoring people and kind of asking them to code faster. What it really means is that we're removing roadblocks so that they can do their job better. And these are the ways that we're thinking about leveraging the platform investments that we've made in order to drive faster velocity. And we also have escalation paths. So we think about how the organization can actually move faster through clean and proper escalation methods. So where an individual contributor, if that person doesn't see change happening at the rate that they would expect, I ask them to have the right discussions, partner, communicate, collaborate, do whatever's needed, but don't do it forever. Give it 5 days, give it 7 days, use your judgment, and then escalate. And escalate all the way to the top of the company. It might come to me or even higher in the company. We make a decision, usually just like that. It comes down, and then we move forward. The reason I'm sharing this with you is that it's not just about the LLM. It's not just about, like, AI is cool, we've got to invest in it. If you're going to really change your company, if you're going to really change the world with this, you have to think about it holistically. And that brings me to the next portion of my talk, which is the generative AI operating system. So all of you, I expect, use a mobile phone or you use a laptop. And some of you might actually code for one of these platforms or some other platform. And I doubt that many of you are writing code directly to the CPU saying, you know, take this bit and move it over there, push transactions. You're not doing things like that. You're actually working in an abstracted layer, the operating system. You interact with the operating system on Mac OS or Windows or whatever your favorite operating system is. And that provides you a level of abstraction as a developer so that you can build applications on top of the hardware that's on your lap. Right? That's the way it works. Now, when we started to make our investments in artificial intelligence, we said we want to do the same thing, and we want to supercharge it through creating a generative AI operating system that allows our developers to operate with high speed without having to interact with basic elements of the platform. This is a very different way of thinking about AI, in my opinion, because what it says is that we're creating an abstraction layer so that a developer who may not be experienced in AI, who may not know data science, who might not have taken all the classes in machine learning that this university or other universities offer, can still, with the appropriate safeguards, build artificial intelligence applications with speed and scale. That's what GenOS is all about. We released this a couple of months ago, and it has some key components to it. Obviously, the large language model, but notice we're not fixated on the LLM. That's an important point because the LLM is cool, but the LLM is not going to get you to where you want to go. You need to have much more associated with it. We created Gen Studio, which is a way for all of our developers to interact with large language models with safeguards, with safety, with security built in. We created Gen Runtime. This is like the CPU of the generative AI operating system. Gen Runtime does orchestration for you so that you don't have to write a bunch of rules to get your job done. Think about what that means. That means not much declarative programming anymore. Very transformational. Gen UX, a new way of interacting with customers so that you're not writing UX code and UI code. It's being done for you so that you as the developer can move with speed and scale. And all of this is being done to power products that many of you know, TurboTax, Credit Karma, QuickBooks, and MailChimp. And we're doing this through recently launched Intuit Assist. So this is very exciting. This is not a feature. It's not a product. It's the way we work now. Intuit Assist is an experience that can be had across all of our product lines, TurboTax, et cetera. And it allows a person to ask questions, which is great. But much more importantly, it allows work to be done for them with that person's permission. And that's the shift that we're making. Not just Q&A, not just education, not just insight, but actually shifting the burden of work to the platform with your permission. And that transformation is enabled by GenOS. Now let me take you a bit through this. So I'm a QuickBooks user, hopefully you are also, and I love to use the product. And one thing I'm really enjoying is using Intuit Assist. So the left-hand side of the panel is the traditional screen. It shows for a small business the cash flow, banking transactions, invoicing, if you do invoicing, payroll, stuff like that. The right-hand side is a new panel. And this is Intuit Assist. And this is where a person in this case can get insights into their cash flow. This is a marriage between traditional AI, so time series forecasting, segmentation, personalization, all those things that people still do and are very important, along with generative AI capability that presents that information in a way that a person can understand. And you can click on that button, go to cash flow, learn more about your own cash flow. And if you want to go and talk to a human expert, click a button, and there's a smooth transition from the AI-powered experience to an AI-augmented experience with a human expert. So now you can talk to a real person and learn more about your cash flow. And that seamless transition is something that we have made incredible investments in, because we know that some people are going to be very comfortable with generative AI and with AI, and that's fantastic. We know others might want to have more information. They might want to work with a human being and a human expert, and that's fantastic also. We can make that transition smoothly. That orchestration is happening through GenOS. The user experience that you see here is happening through GenOS. The insights that are surfaced is happening through GenOS. All of these things are abstracted away from the user so that the developer can move with speed. In TurboTax, for instance, here's a person who's unfortunately owing $3,700. And usually when you owe money, the first question is, wait, that can't be right. I don't owe money. I'm pretty sure I don't owe money, right? Probably that's happened to you. I know it's happened to me in the past. It seems to happen every year. Now, when we go through that experience, question is, why is it that way? You can click on a button, Intuit Assist pops up, and it gives you some insights into why you're not getting a refund this year, and you can ask more questions of it. Obviously, we're not showing you all the details here, but you can ask more questions about it. You can gain insight, can talk to an expert if you need to, and then move on and complete your taxes. So I haven't gone through the entire tax experience, but let me say that it's not just generative AI that's happening there. There's knowledge engineering. We have encoded through automatically generated computer code 80,000 pages of the US tax code. That's what you all and we as US taxpayers are responsible to know. TurboTax knows it through the use of knowledge engineering, which is an important component of our AI strategy. So we're really thinking about things holistically at our company. We're thinking about it not just a fixation on one new model, on one new capability, on two letters of A and I. What we're really thinking about is how to transform the world of small businesses and consumers so that they can make the very best financial decisions. We can help them make those decisions using artificial intelligence and data. And so with that, I'd like to stop and see if there are any questions. Thank you very much for this opportunity to speak with you. Yeah.
So, sorry, kind of a two-part question. One is, how the heck do you manage all of that data and identify what to actually use and what not to use? And then second question is, with all of those responses and automation, how do you manage that human in the loop and what to focus in on?
Yeah. So as far as data management goes, so as the Chief Data Officer, this is a major emphasis of mine and my team. We have built into our platforms what we call privacy by design. So we understand that consumer privacy perspectives are going to change. They're going to change in the US and worldwide. And frankly, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. People should have a good view of how their data is being used, and it should change over time. And we want to build a systems that can understand and adapt to that. And it goes all the way from the top layer of our data platform, literally all the way down to the column and cell level in our strategy. And so that is something that we've built in to our platform. But frankly, we don't just resort to saying, great news, it's done in the platform. We have an AI and data governance committee, which goes through. I'm part of that, our chief technology officer, chief marketing officer. Others are part of that team. And we look at the uses of AI. We're looking at the uses of data. And we're trying to make sure that we're doing the right things by our customers and also by our own experience in this field. And so it's definitely an important area. You know, I didn't speak a lot about responsible AI in my talk, but let me say that in GenOS, there are capabilities that I can say are years ahead of our friends in the cloud providing world that are helping us monitor the use of AI that is actually surfacing issues to the governance committee, and it is actually something that's happening with speed. So thank you for the question. The second question was about human augmentation, is that right? Yeah, so there are two ways that we're addressing that. First is when a customer has a set of questions and they go through the Intuit Assist the Intuit Assist experience, they can continue to ask questions, gain insights on their own. But there's actually a handoff. There's literally a button, or you can ask it, say, I'd like to speak with a human. And then that transition, what happens there is that in real time, the data is captured, it's put onto our event bus, and it's shipped to what we call our virtual expert platform. And there it's surfaced back to the human expert, so that when you get connected to the human expert, the information that's relevant is there at that time. There's a tremendous amount of AI that's happening in this process. We're doing demand forecasting, literally a year in advance. To the half-hour mark, we're making predictions about how many people are going to call into our call centers. We are doing automatic routing and matchmaking so that when you make a phone call in, we know where you are in the product, what you've been doing in real time. That information is shipped. We make predictions about what the best expert would be for your particular needs. And so these are some of the ways that AI and expert handoff are occurring. There's another question.
Thank you very much. Peter McNally from the User Experience Center at Bentley University. So from a UX standpoint, for an AI-enabled product like yours, what is the most critical thing to get right from the user experience standpoint for the end user when you're incorporating AI into a product?
The most critical thing is to convey a sense of confidence. In our business, in the finance business and fintech, the most important thing is to convey a sense of confidence in the interaction as it's occurring in real time. We have three principles by which we govern all of our work at the company. Number one, complete confidence. Number two, we want to put more money in our customers' pockets through better tax refunds, better understanding of accounting, better marketing. And third, we want to eliminate workload. And so when customers see that these things are happening, that actually helps. Now, some issues that people face when they're deploying these kinds of models, particularly very, very large language models, is the latencies are long. And so you can see the kind of approaches that certain companies take where they kind of spell out letter by letter things, and it kind of makes you feel like something's happening. But what's really happening is that there's a lot of latency that's going on there. And so when we use large language models, we actually are using stripped down versions of these models that perform extremely well with the ones that are out there, except they're very fast, they're extremely low cost, and they're things that we control. So that's another way that we're actually managing the UI UX experience. Yeah.
We have time for one more question.
Yeah, I have a two-part question.
All right.
One, how much time and effort went into developing the lowest gen model that you have represented? And the second question, would you see this model easily transformed into a different industry like healthcare?
And if you wouldn't mind repeating the question for the
Yeah.
virtual list.
Wonderful question. So our investments in the AI and data platform, as I said, started about 5 years ago. The conception, materialization of GenOS happened in a couple of months. We mobilized teams in my organization, multiple other organizations, created mission-based teams. Super exciting, it's still happening. We created these mission-based teams where teams come together. We have single-threaded leadership up to me in terms of how decisions are made, but democratized development. And we're moving with incredible speed. And to the second part of your question, can this be transferred? We believe it can. Yes, we do. Because an operating system is not built just to power a word processor or slideware, right? An operating system is actually built to power all experiences on the computer. Similarly, GenOS is something that we've conceived of to be created to power all experiences on the Intuit platform for sure, but it could be transferred to other domains, and it's something that we're thinking about. But right now, our singular focus is on helping people make better financial decisions. That's where our attention is going today. So thank you so much. I appreciate all the attention and questions. And again, many thanks to the Institute for Experiential AI and Northeastern and Asama.